half butterfly. You'll need 2 chairs or a chair and a footstool for this somatic flow, but you could also do it on the floor if you're happy to do that. One chair is for you to sit on, the other is for you to put your foot up on. If you can't get the foot up very high, a footstool is best, but if you're flexible enough in the hip and knee joint, put your right foot up on the seat of another chair. You can also do this flow sitting on the floor in deer pose with the right leg in front and the left leg behind you. Settle into the chair and notice how you feel in the hip, knee and ankle joints as you let gravity draw the knee out to the side, then down towards the ground, helping your thigh bone to externally rotate in the hip socket. Now sit yourself up nice and tall with a little arch behind your waist. Notice if that helps your knee to drop lower or if it encourages the knee to lift. Is there a sense in which either the outer or the inner thigh is tensioning itself in this position? Or is it even that both sides seem tight? Or neither? Reach your right hand onto the inside of your right knee. Gently use your hand to push the knee down toward the ground, but resist this with your knee. Push the inside of your knee back up into your hand. If you can't feel the inner thigh tighten in this pandiculation, use both hands to push down whilst you push up with the knee into the hands. Breathe naturally into this contracted thigh muscle. Try to match the strength of the leg muscles with your hand or hands. Now the next part is really key in somatics. The purpose of this flow is to lengthen the inner thigh muscles, and that's what we're going to do now. You're going to let your hand in so the hips open out further, but you're going to move as slowly and as smoothly as you can, noticing any jitters or jerks. You're not actually pushing with your hand, you're trying to connect your brain to the inner thigh muscle and ask your brain to release and lengthen the inner thigh muscle. As you allow the inside thigh muscles to lengthen out now and the knee to release toward the floor, notice if the release involves any juggling movements. Or are you able to keep it smooth and slow? Once you get to the end of your range of movement, really let go, allowing the hips to open out naturally. Let's try the pandiculation once more. Press the hand into the knee and the knee into the hand. A battle ensues between them and the inner thighs. This wakes up the neural pathway to the brain and helps us to recognise tension in the inner thigh, which we may have lost touch with if we hold the muscle under 30% extra tension all day, every day, as is common, particularly in women. Now take a deep inhale into the side ribs, and on your exhale, gradually release the knee toward the ground, lengthening the inner thigh and adductor muscles. You may also have sensations in the outer thigh and buttocks. Now just check that you're still sitting nice and tall and you haven't begun to slump. Notice the effect of sitting tall on opening out the knee. Once you've released the knee, relax completely. Try it one last time in your own breath rate. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly release the knee down toward the ground, relaxing fully. Now we are going to perform what is called a lock-in. It's the opposite action in that you're going to try to reach your hand on the outside of your right knee. This time, use the hand to push the knee up towards the ceiling, but resist this action by pushing your knee into your hand. Now allow the hand to win, pushing the knee in toward the midline slowly, the knee no longer resisting the action. Feel your outer thigh release and let everything go. Take your leg down from the chair, if you wish, or bring the other one up onto the footstool so that you can compare each side. Rolling and flapping your feet in and out, wriggling and noticing everything there is to notice about how your hip joint and inner thigh feels. If you wish, you can bend and straighten your legs one at a time and feel sensations that are different from one another. What other sensations are you present to as you fully relax and become still now? When you are ready, we're going to try this on the left-hand side. Start by sitting yourself up nice and tall, an arch behind the waist. As you arch your back, notice if your knee lifts or drops. Draw your awareness to the outside of your foot and feel the stretch on the outside of your ankle in this position. Is there a sense in which either the outer or the inner thigh is tensioning itself more than the other? Or are both sides as equally tight? Or perhaps neither? Reach your left hand on the inside of your left knee. Gently push your hand into the knee toward the ground. Resist with your knee joint, pushing it back up into your hand. If you can't feel your inner thigh tighten in this pandiculation, use both hands to push down whilst you push up into your hands with your knee. Breathe naturally into the contraction of the thigh muscles. Try to match the strength of the leg with your hand. Remember that the next part is really key as you begin to let the hand win and move very, very slowly, allowing your hip to externally rotate and the knee to move smoothly down toward the ground. You're not pushing with your hand. You're trying to connect your brain to the inner thigh muscles and ask them to release and lengthen. Notice any juddery movements. Really let go once the knee has released into its final resting place. Then sit yourself up nice and tall for us to try the pandiculation once more. Inhale, and on the exhale, press the hand into the knee into the hand. A battle ensues between them and in which the inner thigh muscles contract. This wakes up the neural pathway to the brain and helps it recognize tension. Can you remember how much tension is typical in terms of percentage in an all-day, everyday way, particularly for women? It was 30% extra tension. And we are training your brain to fully let go now. Take a deep inhale into the side ribs, and on your exhale, gradually release the knee toward the ground, lengthening the inner thigh and adductor muscles. You may also have sensations in the outer thigh and buttocks as you do this. Try that one last time in your own breath rate. Finally inhaling, exhaling and slowly releasing the knee down toward the ground to fully relax it. Now we're going to perform the lock-in. It's the opposite action, in that you're going to reach your left hand onto the outside of your left knee. This time use the hand to push the knee toward the ceiling. resist this action by pushing the outside of your knee into your hand. Can you feel a different sensation in your thigh now as the outside tightens up instead? Now allow the hand to warm, pushing the knee toward the midline slowly. The knee no longer resisting the action. Feel your outer thigh release. Let everything go. Now you can choose to bring the other leg up onto the footstool to compare both sides, or take your leg down from the chair or stool in front of you and notice how you feel in the inner and outer thigh of both legs. Wriggle around and notice changes in your hip joint. Perhaps bending and straightening the legs one at a time and noticing any sensations that are different one to the other. What other sensations are you present to as you fully relax and become still? Standing slow kick. You'll need your yoga strap for this one, so if you haven't got it, press pause and come back. Stand near to a wall for support. You can put your hand up on the wall at any point, or you can keep it there the whole time. You're allowed to use it for balance in this case. Place a strap or dressing gown cord around the ball of your foot, taking hold of both ends of the strap in the same hand as foot. Inhale. Exhale and bring your foot up so that your thigh is perpendicular to the floor. Place some resistance into the strap as you raise your leg, and continue to press your foot into the strap until you can feel the front of the hip tighten up in the area where the top of your leg meets your body, where your big knickers go. Keep pressing down into the strap, holding onto it and breathing normally, feeling the psoas muscle, which is the width of your wrist, so pretty huge. Now we're wanting to release and lengthen that huge muscle by retraining the brain out of its old pattern of keeping that very tight. It's often the issue when we're sat down on a chair or a couch for a lot of the day. Take an inhale, and this is the important bit. Exhale and bring your awareness to the front of your hip, being conscious of it lengthening as you release the strap very slowly and as smoothly as you can. Watch for skips and judders. Allow your foot to come slightly in front of you and very gently land on your heel. Step forwards onto the whole of your foot, feeling the front of your hip opening up as you do so, and quite naturally you'll find that the glute will fire up. Quite often it's said that we're needing to fire up our glutes more if we have a bad back, but in somatics we find it useful to release the front of the body first, then the glutes will work naturally when nothing is holding them back. Let's try that again. Have your foot in the strap at the ball, then inhale. Exhale and bring resistance into the strap with the foot as you lift the leg in front of you, tightening the psoas, bringing your awareness to the front of the hip, which is tightening up as you're pressing down and contracting the muscles where the big knickers go. Inhale. Exhale, and with your awareness on the front of the hip, begin to slowly release the strap, letting the leg lengthen away from you, landing slightly in front of you and landing on the heel. Inhale. Exhale, stepping forward onto the foot, feeling the glutes firing up naturally as the front of the hip opens up. Now let's try that one last time. Check the strap is on the ball of your foot. Take an inhale, then exhale and lift your leg, using the pressure of the foot in the strap to resist the movement. Bring the leg to hip height once more. Let's stay here for a couple of seconds while we're really feeling the hip flexor engaging. Now Now inhale, exhale and slowly lengthen, nice and slowly, feeling that opening out in the front of the hip as you land on the heel, stepping your weight onto your foot as you feel the glutes firing naturally. Before we try that on the other leg, let's have a bit of a pad around with your awareness on the front of both legs to see if you can feel any release in the front of the one we've just been working. And notice how your glutes are firing on each side as you move. Now let's try this on the other side. So turn around and strap your other foot up. Inhale, exhale and begin to lift your foot up to hip height, placing resistance in the strap. Continue to press the foot into the strap until you feel the front of your hip tighten in the area where the top of your leg meets your body, where the big knickers go. Keep pressing down into the strap, holding onto it and breathing normally, feeling that psoas muscle, which is the width of your wrist, remember, pretty huge. Now we're wanting to release and lengthen that huge muscle by retraining the brain out of its old pattern of keeping hold of it very tightly, which it does when we sit a lot of the day. Inhale. And this is the important bit. Exhale and bring your awareness to the front of your hip, being conscious of it lengthening as you release the strap slowly. Allow your foot to come slightly in front of you and very gently land on your heel. Inhale and exhale, stepping forward onto your foot, feeling the front of your hip opening up and feeling the glute firing up naturally a little. Quite often it's said that we are needing to fire up our glutes more if we have a bad back. But remember, if we release the front of the body first, the glutes just do their work completely naturally because nothing is holding them back. So let's try that again. Have your foot in the strap at the ball, then inhale. Exhale and bring resistance into the strap with the foot as you lift the leg in front of you, tightening the psoas. Bring your awareness to the front of the hip, which is tightening up as you're pressing down and contracting the muscle where the big knickers go. Inhale, exhale, still with your awareness on the front of the hip, begin to slowly release the strap, letting the leg lengthen away from you, landing slightly in front of you on the heel. Step forwards onto the foot, feeling the glutes fire up naturally as the front of the hip opens up. Let's try that one last time. Check the strap is on the ball of your foot. Take an inhale, then exhale and lift your leg, using the pressure into the strap to resist this movement. Bring the leg to hip height. Let's stay here for a couple of seconds. Really notice what it feels like to have that hip flexor engage. Check that the knee and hip are in alignment. Now inhale, exhale and slowly, nice and slowly, feel that opening out in the front of the hip. As you land on the heel, then step your weight onto the foot and feel your glutes firing away naturally. Before we release, let's just have a little pad about. And notice how it feels not just in the front of the hip, but in terms of those glutes firing on all cylinders. When we have previously done front of thigh stretches, we've stood with one leg behind the other and pushed the hips forward, curling up onto the toes of the back foot. The only problem with that is that as soon as the toes are turned under like that, you are engaging your thighs and That's the thing you're trying to stretch. It's also quite difficult to tuck the tailbone under in the correct way and balance in this position, especially as we age. And this is not a balance challenge. We're here to stretch the quad and not balance. So I've adapted this to make it much better. The other way that we've done it is we've stood on one leg, grabbed the front of the foot. The only problem with that is on the way to grabbing your foot, you are tilting your side body. And then you've got to get the leg back as far as you can, and you may not have a long enough arm or enough length in your quad yet in order for you to get it behind you. But much more important than that is the hyperextension you get in the low back, i.e. you're forced to tip your hips forward. The minute you tip your hips forward, you're not able to get the top of the quad as far away from where it attaches underneath the knee. So the key thing you need with a quad stretch is a bent knee, and as far bent as you can, which can be troublesome if you've got a poorly knee. But you also need the hip of the standing leg tucked under, and it's terribly difficult to do that while the other leg is tipping back. The most effective way of doing this is lying on the floor on your side with the bottom leg bent, so that forces that hemipelvis to posteriorly tilt. Then you can take hold of your top leg and draw it back behind you, either with an arm if it's long enough and you've got enough external rotation on the shoulder, or with a strap. That way you've got each of the hemipelvises operating in opposite directions which you need. We're going to do the standing version of this today, and for this you need a chair, a cushion and a strap. You're going to loop the strap over your right foot. Try to get the buckles of the strap over the sole of your foot rather than over the top of your foot. You're going to take that strap over the same side shoulder as foot. And then you're going to step forward on your left leg. Think about tucking your tailbone under the whole time. You're trying to get the entrance point in the body of the quad away from where the quad inserts underneath the kneecap. So we're going to push the hips forward and then very slowly draw the strap over the shoulder. If necessary, you can put it over the opposite shoulder, but that tends to make a bit of a twist on the knee, and as we all know, knees hate twists. But if they are twisting, bent is the way to do it, so it's not the end of the world. So at the same time as pushing your hips forward, you're drawing the foot in towards you. Hold it there, pushing the hips forward. You can take hold of the chair for balance. Inhale, exhale, and very slowly release. The good thing about having the strap is you can control that. Have a pad about, feel your thighs to see the difference one between the other, and get a sense of how those front of thighs, the quad muscles, are operating now. Let's try it once more on the same side. So pop the loop back in your foot. Place the knee on your chair, step forward with the opposite leg, push the hips forward. Strap is being gently pulled now so that you're drawing your heel up to your bottom. You might need several goes at lifting your hands up and gently pulling on the strap. Keep pushing your hips forward. You should feel a lovely tightness in the front of the thigh. This thigh muscle gets so overly tight as we age. So it's very important to stretch it. And we've adapted this into our dancing classes so that we make sure that that very big muscle that we've used throughout the class is being lengthened. Come out of that now, being careful not to ping the foot. Have a little palpation at the front of your thighs, and then have a wander about. Make sure, by the way, that you have a nice thick cushion on the stool that or the chair that you're putting your knee up on, because with your knee bent, the patella is under quite a bit of pressure. And if you've got a thin chair, as I have, you'll need a bit more padding than normal. Let's try it on the left leg. Place the strap over your foot. Make sure the buckle comes onto the sole of your foot, not the top of your foot. Then gradually draw the strap over your left shoulder as you step forward on the right leg, pushing the hips forward. So you're encouraging that knee to bend fully. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ear and you're growing through the crown of your head. Keep pushing those hips forward and adjust the strap to draw the knee nearer if you're able to tolerate that now. When you're ready, inhale, exhale, and slowly let the strap draw the leg away from your body, traveling over your shoulder nice and smoothly so that you don't ping the knee at the knee joint. It won't thank you for it. Have a little wander around, palpate the quads and see what difference you've made now in the feeling of length at the front of the thigh. Let's try that once more on the left. Strap the foot up. Make sure the buckle is on the sole of the foot and not on the top. Draw the strap over your left shoulder. Inhale, exhale, draw the strap over your shoulder, pushing the hips forward. You may need to step forward a little further with your right leg. Grow through the crown of the head, shoulders come away from the ears. Keep pushing the left hip forward. Feel the stretch and the length coming into the front of the quad as you draw the heel closer to your bottom. Hold it here for a few minutes, feeling the stretch. Then inhale, exhale, and let the strap slide over your shoulder to draw the heel away from you, nice and slow so that you look after your knee joint. Have a little wander around and see how you feel now. Great job. Palpate those thighs and see if you can get a sense of how nice and soft the front of your thighs become as you release them. If you still have issues with the front of your thigh, you can use any kind of massaging device on the front of them and roll them as you're watching television, or you can use suction cups, which are very useful for releasing tight and painful muscles. If your quad is tight, then your knee will definitely be struggling to get that patella back into position. So releasing these quads is probably one of the most important exercises we do in our somatic yoga flows. If you want to know more about the suction cups, there'll be another video for you to look at that will show you the technique. Well done. Somatic forward bend. In the first instance, let's just see what the state of affairs is with the back of our legs. In this exercise, we're aiming to lengthen the hamstrings, but it would be useful to know where we're at now. So bring yourself into a forward bend. Gently hang there and do a little measurement to see exactly where you can reach from the floor without judgment.
So that's your measure. Come up in whatever way is preferable for you, out of a forward bend. But generally, I suggest a gentle bend in the knee. Then place your hands on your back, squeeze your elbows, engage the shoulder blades, push through the floor. That way you'll work your legs rather than letting your low back and the poor lumbar spine do all the work. Whatever suits you. Anyway, here we go. Let's try this somatic forward bend. Come back into your forward bend and fold your arms as if you're cross with somebody. Then take an inhale, exhale, and lift your arms so that they come to about nose height. From there, lift your nose so you can see over your arms. Notice what you feel in the back of your legs. You may need quite a strong bend in there depending on the state of your hamstrings. Don't worry, no judgment. Inhale. Exhale, lift the arms. Inhale, lift the head. Notice how you feel in the back of your legs now. It may start to feel like there's a stretchy feeling going on in the back of your legs. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, lift the head. Feel that your back is becoming flat. Your shoulder blades are squeezing together. The backs of the legs are becoming lengthened. That may be enough for you, in which case come down into your forward bend. Otherwise, let's have one more last go. Inhale, lift arms. Exhale, lift nose. Inhale, exhale and come all the way forward. Now see whereabouts your hands are in comparison to the floor with your legs straight. This will give you an indication as to how the exercise has helped you. Shall we try it one more time? Inhale. Fold your arms, exhale and lift them. Inhale, look over the top. Breathe normally for a moment. Notice how you're feeling in the backs of your legs. Do you need to bend them? Inhale, lift arms. Exhale, lift head. Inhale, lift arms. Exhale, lift head. That may be enough, or once more. Lift arms. Now lift head. And relax. All the way down, straightening the back of the legs. Test out where you got to. If that's enough for you, lay down and take a break. Otherwise, let's try it one last time. With arms folded, in your forward bend, take an inhale and lift the arms. Exhale, lift the head. Don't be in a rush. Inhale, lift arms. Exhale, lift head. Inhale, lift arms. Exhale, we'll just do 3 times now. Lift your head. Feel that squeeze at the back of the body. Feel the length coming into the hamstrings, and now release all the way forward. Straighten your legs and just check out how far you can go now. Great job. Bring yourself into standing in whatever way suits you.
You'll need a chair for this and a yoga block if your chair is a bit high for you. Sit sideways in your chair at the front of the seat, hooking the chair under your right front knee. If your lower leg bone is shorter than the chair leg, place your front foot on a brick to give you your leg bone a little bit more length. You need to be comfortable. Now take your left leg back behind you. And stand on your toes. If your toes aren't strong enough to take this pressure, you can point the foot away from you and rest on the foot, on the top of the foot. And you might need to pad your foot out with a cushion if that's uncomfortable. You can also pad out under your back knee and have the knee bent, if that's more comfortable. But this isn't really about the legs as much as getting extension high up in the thoracic spine, which becomes weakened when we're constantly bent over computers and smart devices most of the day. However, if you want to stretch for your psoas at the top and front of your thigh, then you have to get the back leg as straight as you can manage. But you can certainly gain a lot for the upper spine, even if the leg is fully bent. So get yourself comfortable in the legs and focus for a few moments on your pelvis. In this position, the pelvis is doing something quite extraordinary and reminding us that it's not one solid structure like a big pudding bowl, but comes in two distinct halves joined at the sacroiliac joint onto the sacrum at the base of the spine. Right now, you are asking your right hemipelvis to tuck under, and your left hemipelvis is being sent back as the leg lengthens behind you. Gently try to roll your pelvis back and forwards. It will only move a tiny bit with your legs in this position. End in a place where you're conscious that the back of your waist is lengthened as much as you can. Anyone can do a back bend by flinging their pelvis into an anterior tilt. But in that position, you're compressing the low back. We're not aiming to do that here. We're aiming to get the low spine as elongated as possible, which we do by keeping the back of the waist long, before we focus on upper back extension. Now bring your awareness into the upper back, particularly the part between your shoulder blades. Inhale, exhale and lift the sternum forward without arching your low back, so the upper back is in a back bend only. Feel the work going on in your thoracic spine. Think about length all the way in to the right up to the crown of your head. Think openness in the heart center. Imagine that your collarbones are widening. Now imagine the center of your brain being balanced exactly over your throat, ears in line with the center of the very tip of your shoulders. So you may find that your chin needs to be pressed backwards a little in order to be positioned further back, because we all have the tendency to lead with the head and jut the chin forward. If you want, you can bring your arms up. Just inhale. Exhale and lift your arms up above your head, but be careful of lifting your shoulders as you do this. Have them slightly in front of you to ensure you don't round the upper back by lifting your arms. Inhale, exhale and focus on your head position once more. Then check your back bend is only in the upper spine. The back of the waist is still long. Notice the length in the front of the thigh and in the left leg. If you want the ultimate challenge, you can take the weight off the chair now and into your front foot and back toes by lifting yourself off the chair, even if it's briefly. Inhale, exhale and push the ground away from you. Pause for a moment, then inhale, exhale and bring your weight back down again. Which muscles had to release in order for you to relax back onto the chair? Where did you take your weight? Was it mostly front leg, back leg, or evenly through both legs? Let's try it one more time. Inhale, exhale, push the floor away, lift yourself off the chair a little. Inhale, exhale and release. Now let's come out of this position. First inhale, exhale and lower the arms. Inhale, exhale and bring the legs to the front, knees wide. Use your chair seat for support if you need to. Inhale, exhale and bring your chest forward into a forward fold and let your head dangle. Everything relaxed and released, and rest completely. Now let's try that on the other leg. Sit sideways once more to the other side, hooking the chair under your left front knee. If your lower left leg bone is shorter than the chair legs, place your foot on a brick and give your leg bone a little more length. Your right back leg is behind you and you're standing on your toes. If your toes aren't strong enough to take the pressure, you can point the foot away from you and rest the whole of the front of your foot on a cushion or on the floor. Remember, this is not about the legs. In this case it can be, but today we're focusing on upper back extension through the thoracic spine, which becomes weakened when we're constantly bent over computers and smart devices most of the day. If you want to stretch on your psoas, you can straighten your back leg fully and focus on keeping your pelvis forwards. Just have a wriggle about in the pelvis now, reminding yourself of that sacroiliac joint that joins the two halves of the pelvis onto the spine, and see if you can get as much length as possible in the back of the waist. Now bring your awareness to the upper back, particularly the part between your shoulder blades. Inhale, exhale and lift the sternum forwards and up without arcing the lower back, so the upper back is in the back bend only. Feel length coming into the whole of the spine. Feel the work going on there in your thoracic spine. And bring the length all the way up into the crown of your head. Imagine the centre of your brain being balanced exactly over your throat, ears in line with the centre of the very tip of your shoulders, so that you may find your chin needs to be pressed backwards in order to position the head correctly. If you want, you can bring the arms up. Just inhale, exhale and lift your arms up above your head, being careful not to lift your shoulders. Keep a nice space between the bottom of your earlobes and the top of your shoulders. Shoulder blades engaged. Have your arms slightly in front of you to ensure that you don't round the upper back. Inhale, exhale and focus on your head position once more. Check your back bend is only in the upper spine and the back of the waist is long. Notice the length in the front of the thigh going backwards. If you want the ultimate challenge, take the weight into your front foot and back toes. Inhale, exhale and lift yourself off the chair, even if it's briefly. Notice where you're taking most of the weight. Is it front leg, back leg or evenly between the two? Pause for a moment, then inhale, exhale and bring your weight back down, preferably without a thud. Try that just once more if you want the ultimate challenge only. Inhale, exhale, push the ground away from you. Pause here, noticing what's taking most of the weight here in this position, what part of your leg bones are working, your leg muscles are working. Inhale, exhale and release. Let's come out of this position now. First, inhale, exhale and lower the arms. Inhale, exhale and bring the legs to the front, knees wide. Inhale, exhale and bring your chest forward into a forward fold and let your head dangle. You can even roll it from side to side and round, feeling length coming into the back of the neck. Everything relaxed and released. Let go completely.
Settle yourself down now, ready for relaxation in whatever position suits you best. There's no rules. The important thing is to listen to your body. We can get quite out of touch with how we're feeling and go along with other people's demands and traditions and perhaps be constantly aware of other people's needs to the detriment of living in our own body in the present moment. This meditation will help you to access the present moment through your body awareness. When we start to see where our tension builds up in the body, we can begin to naturally let go. Just paying attention to where you're at can make a huge difference to your behaviours because we start to change things. We start to see what damage our unhealthy behaviours are doing to us and other people. When we start forming the habit of paying attention, we start to see that curiosity itself feels good, and we start to lean into healthier behaviours. The old adage of counting to 10 before we yell at someone. You don't have to force yourselves to see any of these things. It will happen quite naturally once you build your awareness. So let's begin the meditation now. Allow your eyes to close if that suits you, and take a few moments just to notice the movement of your breath. And on each out-breath, just allow yourself to let go of any tension you might be holding on to. The intention of this practice is to simply bring awareness to any sensations you feel. And as you focus your attention on each part of your body, if you find your mind wandering, just bring it back to being aware of the physical sensations of the body. Now invite your awareness to the toes of your left foot. Focus on each of the toes of the left foot, noticing what you can feel. You might notice tingling, warmth, pressure, pulsing, or no particular sensation. It might be quite hard to feel your toes. You can wiggle them, and when you stop wiggling them, you'll notice the sensations more. When you're ready, invite your awareness to notice the sensations on the bottom of your left foot, noticing whatever's there right now. Pressure, warmth, tightness. Now guiding your awareness to the top of your foot, letting go of any concepts of what your foot should feel like, and just resting in an awareness of what is actually present. Bring your awareness into your left ankle. Now, guiding your awareness into your lower leg, your shin and your calf, slowly scanning up towards your left knee. Noticing whatever physical sensations are present right now. Bring your gentle, curious attitude as you scan through the body. Now scanning up into the thigh. What are the physical sensations that are here right now? If you notice your mind wandering to thoughts or to sounds or other parts of the body, just note these as thinking, hearing, or even feeling. Then gently return your awareness to the thigh. When you get to the top of your left leg, invite your awareness to notice the physical sensation in the toes of your right foot.
Now bring your awareness to the bottom of your right foot and the top of your right foot, to your heel and your ankle as you gently start to scan up your leg. Scanning into the knee via the calf and the shin. Again, just noticing whatever's present, discovering sensations as you scan into them, with no expectation of what you may expect to find there. Now scanning up into your hips, noticing whatever is present in this area of your body. Bringing your awareness into the abdomen as you scan slowly, curiously toward the chest. You might notice movement, pressure, dullness, warmth. Simply noting whatever is present. Not trying to change any sensation or replace them with something else. Just bringing a full and open, curious awareness to whatever is there. This is your experience. Relax into it. Anytime your mind wanders, just notice where it's gone off to. Is it thinking? Is it hearing? Is it feeling something? And then simply, gently, return your awareness to the body, scanning up into the chest. Just relaxing into the raw physical sensations. What is it there? Pulsing, pressure, warmth or cool. Scanning up to the top of the chest. And now inviting the awareness to notice the physical sensations of the tips of the fingers. Noticing how it takes no effort to notice. Awareness is natural. Now inviting this awareness to scan up through the fingers. And into the wrist. You may be aware of more tingling because of the work that you've done today. Being curious. Scanning up into the lower arm, up toward the elbow. Scanning up into the elbow and the upper arm. This voyage of discovery as we experience what's arising in our bodies right now. Once you've scanned all the way up to the top of the arm, inviting the awareness to notice the physical sensations in the tips of the fingers of the right hand. And slowly scanning through the fingers into the hand. Scanning into the wrist and up into the arm. Scanning into the elbow. And now the right upper arm. Noticing if at any time your mind wanders and you have the urge to judge yourself or beat yourself up because your mind's wandering. Scanning up to the top of the right arm. Now scanning into the right and left shoulders, noticing any tension or tightness, warmth, throbbing. Inviting the awareness up into the neck and throat. Bringing a kind, gentle curiosity. Now scanning up into the jaw, up into the cheeks and lips. What do they feel like right now? Now scanning into the teeth and the tongue. What are the physical sensations that let us know that we have teeth? Scanning up into the nose, up into the eyes and the muscles around the eyes. Scanning up into the eyebrows and into the forehead. Up into the top of the head. What does the top of your head feel like? The ears and the back of the head. Just resting in awareness of the head. And now expanding this awareness to include the entire body. Just resting in awareness. No effort. No force necessary. Simply resting in awareness of the body. Whatever sensations that arise, they are known by awareness. Noticing how it takes no effort to simply notice, just like hearing the sound of my voice. This is your opportunity to take care of this body. To nurture it rather than overindulge it. And to celebrate rather than complain about it. Take time to come out of your practice slowly now, enjoying every last moment of pleasure, of being fully present in this body right now.